Hello students, I am Reena. Welcome to Math Fam. So today we'll see the CBSE past paper 5 marker questions. So what is the pattern here? If you know that in 80 marks paper there will be 4 questions of 5 marker having weightage of 20 marks, right? And there will be always 2 internal choice. So questions are always from these chapters. So if you will see algebra, there can be 3 chapters from which the 5 marker question can come, which is linear equation, quadratic equation, or arithmetic progression. Now, if it's a linear equation, there will be one always compulsory question. If there are quadratic equation, chapter problem, then there can be internal choice. Arithmetic progression, it's mostly compulsory question or it can be having internal choice also, right? Now triangles, mostly you will get internal choice most of the time, all the time you get internal choice. Then one question of 5 marker can be from insulation. If it is not in case study, then mostly it is compulsory question. Then area related to circle also will be compulsory question. Then there is statistics. There can be one question of 5 marker. That is also compulsory question. Then again trigonometry, height and distance also there can be question. So it can be compulsory or internal choice. So there's no, see, mostly 5 marker questions are from these chapter, but there's no fixed pattern. You will see in different years paper there are different 5 marker questions from different chapter. So today we'll be taking 2023 sets 5 marker question only here. So let us start here. How many 5 marker questions are there? There are 4. So if you see 30, question number 32, 33 with internal choice, 34 and 35. These are the 4 questions. And out of which, if you see, AP is having internal choice, and this is height and distance also is having internal choice questions, right? So let us start with question number 32 here. So these are your 5 marker questions only, right? So what is given here? If a line is parallel to one of the side of the triangle to intersect the other two sides at 2 distinct points, and prove that the other 2 sides are divided in the same ratio. When you read this statement, you should know that this is based on BPT, right? This is basic proportionality theorem. So what does it say here? If I draw the triangle here, a line drawn parallel to one of the side of the triangle. Now here if I'm taking a line, right? So here ABC is a triangle. If I'm taking this is parallel to this, then what do we say here? You can see that line segment D is dividing AB and AC, it is in equal ratio. What does that mean here? To prove, if you will see here, if you will see the to prove AD by DB, you need to prove it equals to A by EC. So you'll write down whatever is given. You'll write down given part first, given in triangle ABC, what is the parallel line are given, and D intersect AB at D and AC at E respectively, right? How do we do the proving part here? I'm just telling you, in my previous video, I have already explained how to prove BPT. So I am just explaining you through the figure only. After this, there is a construction also required. What do you do in construction? This part you have to remember, right? Construction, you draw DM perpendicular on AC and then EN perpendicular on AB, right? So I can take here, if I take this DM perpendicular to AC, and I can take here DN perpendicular on EN perpendicular on AB, then you will B and you are going to join here CD. Please draw the neat figure here, and other than that here join BE and CD. How do we prove it here? What are you going to take it here? You take area of triangles, right? I need ratio AD by DB. So what do you take here? First you will take this triangle, and area of triangle will be equals to half base into height, right? So this, if you take this as a base, the perpendicular height is this, that is going to be perpendicular, right? So this is nothing but it's a perpendicular. You can, so how do we take it here? It will be half. If I take here, how do we get here? Proof part here, area of triangle ADE ratio, you take it by area of triangle BDE, right? This is the main thing. You will frame 3 equation. I'm writing here, remember what is the base? I need AD. So take AD as a base from triangle ADE. So it is half times AD times EN, because EN is perpendicular on AD. By BDE, what again? The base is going to be BD, right? And the perpendicular, because it's an obtuse triangle, will be EN. You can see that this gets cancelled and you will be left with AD by BD. Similarly, you are going to take the other right side two triangles. What is the other right side? Those two triangles here, you will take here area of triangle again ADE, because again I need AE by EC, right? So based on that, you will choose the triangle by triangle here CDE, where you take half of here. Now A is the base and DM is on the perpendicular on A. You can see that this is the perpendicular on this, right? Other than that, when you are considering this triangle, this is obtuse triangle, so perpendicular is outside. So base into height, again you are going to take it, right? So by here, if I take it here, half times EC times DM, right? So you can write down here. Then this is a equation 2. Third equation you should know, area, the triangles, area of two triangles on the same base. So you can see that BDE and CDE are on the same base, which is D, and between the same parallels means both the triangles are between two parallel lines here. Which, what are those two parallel lines? If you see, this is this. So the area will be equal, and because of that, all three, because I need to prove that this is equation A, AD by DB equals to here AE by EC, right? Here you can write down DB as well. Yeah, because dB can be base, we need to take that proving, so I'll take dB. Then here you can write down here area of triangle BDE is equals to area of triangle CDE, right? This is equation 3, and from 1 to, please write down the reason here. The area of two triangles on the same base and between the same parallel are equal in area. Then from 1 to 3 you can say that the AD by DB is equals to A by EC, right? AD by DB is equals to A by EC, hence proof. Sometime you will see that in along with the BPT proving, they will give you one question also based on BPT, or sometimes they say to state the BPT theorem. So it's very important that you remember the statement of basic proportionality theorem and converse of BPT statement also. Now this is the next question, 5 marker question. It says both the questions are from height and distance application of trigonometry. It says, let us take first A part here. What is given here? The angle of elevation of top of the tower of 24-meter high from the foot of another tower. So first you need to draw the two towers. Tower in the same place is 60°. The angle of elevation of the top of the second tower from the foot of the first tower is 30°. Then find out the distance between two towers and height of the other tower. You know that now, because it's not given, it is of equal height, so you are not going to take both the towers of equal height. So first draw the figure, because drawing figure, you will have 1 mark for drawing the right figure. Now if I say here this is 24-meter high tower, right? So if it is 24-meter high tower AB, then from the foot of another tower. So if I'm taking this as another tower, we don't know what is the height of another tower. So if I take it here, this is C and this is D, right? Now if you join this, the foots, these are going to be the joining the foot of the tower, which is on the ground level 90°. Here also this is AB with the ground, angle will be 90°. Now what is written here? From the foot of another tower. So what is the foot of another tower? Point C, the angle of elevation. So angle of elevation is always the line of sight, angle between the line of sight and the horizontal. So this angle, it is 60°, right? So this is your one of the triangle. Then the angle of elevation of the top of the second tower. Now this is your second tower, right? From the foot of the first tower. That means here this is the foot of the first tower to top of the second tower. So this is your line of sight, and horizontal is BC. Line of sight is BD, horizontal is this. This angle is nothing but 30°. We need to find out height of the second tower, which is CD. If I'm writing, you can write down here whatever is given, and you can take it as let CD be H, right? Because you are taking this measure. Now here, because this is the what else do we need to find out? Find out the length of the wire attached to the top of the towers. Now length of the wire attached to top of the tower here it will be AD. Now again here I can draw here horizontal line. Correct? So what to find here? Let us first write down what do I need to find out here. You need to find out here the distance between two towers. What is the distance between two towers? BC. This length is unknown. I don't know. Then what else you need to find out? AD, which is the wire attached between top of the towers. Now for solving this kind of question, you are going to choose the triangle where you see the angle. Now 60-degree angle is in which triangle. That if you will see, then automatically you'll understand which triangle you need to consider. Then one more thing here, because BC length is missing, can I write down as X? So this part is also going to be X. Now this is opposite sides are equal. So here this will be H. So the remaining part is going to be 24 minus H meter. Right, now let us see which triangle we are going to take here first. In triangle ABC, now with respect to 60-degree, I have opposite and we need to find out adjacent if I am considering this triangle, right? So you know that opposite by adjacent means you can take here tan 60-degree will be equals to AB by BC. BC is nothing but X and tan 60 is root 3 equals to AB length is also known, which is 24 by X. So X is going to be 24 by root 3. Here you can do rationalization also, because you know the value here you will get it in the simplest form, which is 8 root 3 meter. So I already got X value as 8 root 3 meter. Now what is going to be the second triangle? You have to take it, because I need to find out H also, right? And then AD also. This 30-degree right triangle is going to be this, right? So here you can mark 90-degree. Then you have to mention that in triangle BCD. Again I can take tan because it's opposite by adjacent. So it will be tan 30 equals to CD by BC, right? So tan 30 is 1 by root 3 and CD is H by BC is X. Now what you will get it here, X is equals to H is equals to X by root 3, right? So what is the value of X from 1? You can take it here, 8 root 3 by root 3. So we get the height of the second tower as 8 meter. That's our first finding. We got H. H is nothing but, we got BC also. Do we need to find out height of the second tower? Find the distance between two towers. So see here, height of the second tower also we need to find out. So we have to find out to find it CD also. So we got here, therefore CD is the height of the tower, which is 8 meter. Then here distance between both the towers, which is BC, we already got that 8 root 3 meter. If root 3 value is given, you will substitute and you will get the decimal value. But here in the question, root 3 value is not given, so we don't need to substitute. Now at the end, we need to find out this part, AD, right? Now X is known in this triangle, if you'll see. 24 minus H also you can get it. So using Pythagoras theorem, you can find out here the length of AD, because there's no angle, so you can't use trigonometric ratio here. So we can write down here in triangle AED, in triangle ADE, AD square is equals to, if I take the figure here, AD square will be AE square plus DE square. So this is AE square plus D square. Now A is how much here? A is 24 minus H. So here AE is 24 minus H, and H you can see that you got it as 8 meters. So 24 minus 8, which is 16 meter, right? And D is X. So DE you can substitute as X 8 root 3 value, right? Here you will get AE as 8 root 3. So how are we going to get it here? You can substitute AE, which is A is nothing but 16, so I can write on here 16 square, right here 16 square plus D is how much? D is x and that is 8 root 3. So it is going to be 8 root 3 whole square. Now simplify this. 16 square is 256 plus 64 times 3. And if you'll take this 256 plus this, and then if you'll do further simplification, it's getting it as 448, right? This is 192 plus 448. So what is the length of AD? If you will take it here, root 448. And if you do the simplification here, 448 is not a perfect square. So you have to do the prime factorization. So how much you are going to get it? Then again, 2s are, 8s are, then 4s are. Now 14, you know that it's a 2 into 7. So again here you can take here 2 into 7 and this 7. So what is the pair will come out here? It can be 8 square times 7 square root. So the answer is going to be 8 root 7 meter. That is the distance between the top. Now this is orbit of your 33rd question. How are you going to solve it? A spherical balloon of radius r subtend an angle of 60° at the eyes of the observer if the angle of elevation of its center is 45° from the same point. Then prove that the height of the center of the balloon is root 2 times its radius. Spherical balloon means first you are going to draw a circle. So you can see that it's an integration of trigonometry and circle topic. So this is a spherical balloon with center O. Now from the eye of the observer, now observer is going to be on the ground level. So if I take observer here at point A, now from here he is seeing the balloon. That means there will be two tangents at end of the on the circle, right? So from A, he's seeing the balloon like this. So you can see that you can write on here AB, right? AB is going to be a tangent and AC, or I can write on here B. AB is going to be one tangent and similarly AC is going to be another tangent, right? Now this angle is nothing but it is 60°, right? Now what is written here? If the angle of elevation to its center from the same point. Now you know that angle of elevation, I need horizontal line, so I have to draw a horizontal line on the ground level because angle of elevation is always angle between line of sight and the horizontal. Now from the same point, angle of elevation to the center of the spherical balloon is 45 degrees. So I know that this angle is 45 degrees, right? Now I need to find out distance, and you know that distance is always perpendicular from this horizontal ground. So this length we need to find out here. If I write on here D, so what is to find here? To find it is OD. See, it's written the height of the center of the balloon. We need to find out, we need to prove that it is, instead of to find, it is to prove because it's already given, right? So to prove part is OD is root 2R because if I take R as the radius. Now, because AB and AC are tangents and you know that tangents are perpendicular to the radius, right? So I can first join O to B and O to C, and this is 90°, right? Now you know that to find here, to prove OD, which triangle I am going to consider here? Triangle AOD, right? Because OD is the part of this triangle. Now I am already having 45° here. If I can, and we need to find out this opposite. If I have adjacent or hypotenuse, I can use trigonometric ratio to find out OD length. Now I know that it's difficult to get part here or length of AD because AD is not connected to the other triangle. But here there is another right triangle you see, which is because this is radius R, this is also radius R. If I can find out length of OA, So here first what you will find out here, find here OA, because OA is the part of triangle from triangle. I'm just writing this, you don't need to write down, this is for your understanding. OAD, and then angle OAD is also 45 degrees, so you will be able to use trigonometric ratio if you are finding length OA, right? Now OA is the part of which triangle, if you will see? OA is the part of this triangle OAB or OCA, right? But I am having the complete angle here 60 degree. So can we start writing here? This is going to be the proof part here. Triangle, you need to show that, okay? What you need to do it here, triangle AOB will be congruent to triangle AOC using RH congruency. You please write down all the steps. I'm just writing this because we have seen how do we prove these two triangles. Tangents drawn from the external point are equal in length. For this, we have taken congruency to prove it, right? And we always use here RHS, right angle, right? Then the common side and the radii are equal. So using RHS we have proved it. So I'm directly writing here RHS congruency. You can prove these two. Why did I take it here? So that I can write down angle BAO will be equals to angle CAO will be equals to 60 by 2, which is 30 degree. Now you can see that in your figure what is which angle will be 30, because I need one of the acute angle to get OA. This part is also 30 degree, right? Now how will we take it here in triangle AOB? Now which trigonometric ratio I can use it here? I need to find out OA, which is hypotenuse, and this is opposite. So opposite by hypotenuse is sine. So cut over rule, if you use here, sine is O by H, right? So here in triangle OAB, I can write down here sine 30 degree will be equals to opposite is OB and hypotenuse is OA, which is OB is R by OA, right? What is sine 30? 1 by 2 equals to R by OA. So what is the value of OA? It is 2r. So this is your first finding, OA is 2r. Now OA is known now. You can take here another triangle in triangle OAD also, because we need to find out AD, we have to show that root 2r, right? So we already got OA. So again I can apply trigonometric ratio using 45 degree, right? Now opposite is unknown, hypotenuse is known, right? Because this length you got it as 2r. So here what can I take it here? Opposite by hypotenuse, again sine here. So it can be written here sine 45 degrees is equals to OD by OA. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. OD length we need to prove it, and OA is 2r. So what can we write down here? OD is 2r by root 2, which is root 2 times root 2 r by root 2. Root 2 gets cancelled. So you can see that the height we reached to the height as root 2 times the radius, right? So therefore height, which is OD, is equals to root 2 r, which is root 2 times the radius. Hence proved. This is your next 34th question. It is based on area related to circle. What does it say here? If you will see here, this question, a chord of a circle, right, of radius 14 centimeters, subtend an angle 60 degree at the center. Find the area of the corresponding minor segment, right? So please read the question carefully, whether they are talking about sector or segment, and also find out the area of the major segment of the circle. So first you will draw the figure here. Now a chord of a circle. So first you will draw a circle, right? And there is a chord here. So let us draw the chord AB. If I draw here chord AB, right? This subtend for 60 degree at the center. So what is the angle subtended by these two chords at the center? It is 60 degree. So this angle is 60 degree, right? What is the radius of this? So 14 centimeter. This side also 14 centimeter. What do I need to find out here? To find, it is nothing but write down whatever is given after drawing the figure. I'm just writing here to find here. This is called minor segment. So what do we need to find out here? Area of minor and major segments, right? Minor and major segments. So how do we get it here? When you have seen this question, you know that when you solve it here, this is the solution. Area of segment, first you tell me what is the formula. If I take area of segment from area of sector, I have to remove area of triangle, right? Then I'll be left with area of segment. So what is your formula here? Area of minor segment. Because why it is minor segment? Because it's a 60 degree. If it is more than 180 degree, then it's going to be major segment. If it's a 180 degree angle is equal central angle, then it will be semicircle. Now area of minor segment, how do you get it here? Area of sector minus area of triangle. What is the sector here? OAB minus area of triangle OAB. If you see sector area formula, theta by 360 times pi r square minus, now you have to see that which, because triangle it's a half base into height formula you can use it, or equilateral triangle formula you can use it. Because this is isosceles triangle, you know that base angle also will be 60 degree, because the isosceles triangle angle opposite to equal sides are equal. That means this is nothing but equilateral triangle, so you can use directly formula here, a square. A is nothing but r in this case. So substitute the value here, 60 by 360 in times 22 by 7 times r is 14 times 14 minus root 3 by 4 times 14 times 14, right? Now please do not do any calculation error here. Now what you can do here to make this simplest form here, you can see that 14 is common in both the terms. So either you take it common, or you can do cancellation method also, because here I am able to divide, so I'll just follow cancellation method. 7 ones are 7 twos are 3s are uh, 11s are, right? I'm just making it the smaller values. Then this is nothing but 22 times 14 by 3 minus this is 2s are 7s are 1s are 7s are minus 49 root 3. How do we solve this question? Now you are getting value, fractional value, which is not divisible. So 308 by 3 minus 49. Now here, if they have given, whether they give or not, because it's about area, so it's better if you are substituting root 3 value, right? So this is root 3, this much square centimeter, right? This is just the value if we are getting it. If I get the decimal value, you will be able to get the simplest form. So let us do here. Can I write down here, if I'm doing simplification, I can first divide this to convert it into decimal, because root 3 value you will substitute as 1.73. Be careful, the main thing here is just the formula, but the calculation part. So 1s are, 0s are, 2s are, and get the value till 2 to 3 places. So it's coming 0.2, it will be 66666. So I'm writing 67 minus, you have to do the multiplication, 1.73 times 49. What is the answer you will get it here? If you simplify this, you are getting 84.77, right? Please do the subtraction here. 0.67, you are going to get 17.9. Approximately this much square centimeter is the area of the minor segment, right? You got the answer here, 17.9 square centimeter. So this is your area of minor segment. Then how to get the major segment? What is going to be the major segment? This whole area, the other than minor segment area. So what I can do, I can take complete area of circle, and if I remove this area, then I'll be left with this major segment area only. So I'll be applying that here. What can we take it here? Area of major segment will be equals to area of circle minus area of minor segment, and you already calculate the area of minor segment. And what is the area of circle? It's pi r square, so 22 by 7 times 14 because r is 14 minus 17.9, or you can substitute this value and later on also you can get the simplest form, right? So it's 2244 times 14. If I do it, I'm getting here 616 minus 17.9. And if you do the subtraction here, if I get this, it's coming it as 616 minus 17.9. We'll get it as 598.1 square centimeter, right? This is the another answer. Now please conclude your answer here. Therefore, final answer, okay? Area of minor segment is minor segment. I always conclude your answer because the final answer must be written. And the same thing here, if I'm taking here major segment, it is 598.1 square centimeter. So this is only one compulsory question. Well, let us go for the next question. Now this is question number, the fourth question, which is question number 35. Both the internal choice are from arithmetic progression. What is given in the A part? First let us do A part, then we'll go for the B part. So it's given here, question number 35A. It's given the ratio of the 11th term to 17th term of an AP is 3:4. So you can write down whatever is given. I'm directly starting here to solve it. So it's nothing but A11 by A17 is given as 3/4. So from here you know that what is the formula of AN? A plus N minus 1D. Then you need to find out the ratio of what to find here. If you will see here, to find is A5 is to out here, then the ratio of sum of first 5 terms and 20 be S5 is to S21, right? So these two things you need to find out here using the given information. Now what is the SN formula also you'll use somewhere, so remember both the formulas, 2A plus N minus 1D, right? Now let us start with this because this is the only given part. So what can I write down this as? A plus 10D by A plus 16D, because using the first formula and the term formula 16D is equals to 3/4. Now using this, if you I'll do cross multiplication, you can get the relationship between A and D. So 4 times A plus 10D equals to 3 times A plus 16D. Simplify this, plus 40D equals to 3A plus 48D. So when you simplify this, this one will come here, here, and you will be left with A equals to 8D. This is your finding. Now what do I need to find out? A5 is to A21. So let us start with that. Ratio you can write down in ratio form or the fractional form. So here we can write down A plus 4D by A plus 20D. Now how to get this ratio? Because I in place of A I can substitute 8D. So 8D plus 4D by, we are using here first equation, by 8D plus 20D, right, which is nothing but 12D by here 28D. So DD gets cancelled, it is 6 4 right, and 3 and then this is 7 So you are getting 3/7, or A5 is to A21 is 3:7, right? Instead of ratio fraction, you can write down in ratio form also. So this is my first finding, we got it. Other than that, we need to find out S5 is to S21 also. So again substitute in the formula n by 2, which is 5/2 times 2a. So write down 2a plus 4d, because it's n minus 1d, by 21/2 times 2a plus 21 minus 1, it's 20d. I'm using here SN formula, this formula, right? Now how to use this? Because I have A5 by A21 and A equals to 8D also. What can I do here? If you see this, First thing you can cancel because both the denominator you will take the reciprocal will get cancelled. So we are left with 5 by 21. From the numerator I can take here 2 common. So it is a plus 2d, and denominator also I can take 2 common, a plus 10d. This gets cancelled. Now a value also you have it as 8d from 1, right? So 5 by 21, and in the denominator it will be 8d plus 2d, and denominator also it will be 8d plus 10d, right? Then simplify this. 5 by 21 times here 10d by 18d. dd gets cancelled. Now are you able to do any simplification? We can do it here. 2 5s are and here 2 9s are. After that we can't do anything. So 25 by 189. This is going to be your ratio. So therefore, what is the ratio between the sum of these two? S5 is to, given these two, S5 and S21 will be 25 is to 189. So this is your orbit of AP. What is given here? 250 logs are stacked in a following manner. 22 logs in the bottom row. So you can see here lowest row is having 22, then above that 21, then 20 to next to it, and so on. In how many rows 250 logs placed, and how many logs are there on the top row? So that means you need to find out two parts here. What to find here first? You need to find out total how many logs. So how many rows? That means n rows. How many 250 logs can be fit in how many rows, and how many logs are there on the top row means n you need to find out. So first we will find out n using given information. So here if I say here, let the number of, this is question number 35b, right? Now let the number of rows be n, right? Because if there are total n rows, then after that what is going to be your AP? Because the bottom here bottom row is having 22 logs, then 21 logs, then 20 logs, and so on, right? So how are we going to do it here? If you'll see here, A is 22 and D is nothing but A2 minus A1, or A3 minus A2 is 21 minus 22. Here don't do mistake, it's not 1, it is minus 1 because it's reducing by 1, right? Next term minus previous term, you get it. Now what do we need to find out here? N. What are the total logs means? Sn is going to be 250 because here given part can be Sn is 250. Maybe n logs are having altogether 250 in n rows, right? So what is the Sn formula we can use here? Sn is n by 2, here 2a plus n minus 1 d, and substitute the value. We need to find out n by 2, we don't know, and this becomes 2 times 22 is 44 plus n minus 1 times minus 1 is equals to 250, right? Now n by 2 as it is, this one will become 44 minus n plus 1 equals to 250. Now 2 is the common denominator. 2 can be transposed to right hand side also. Directly you can take it. So here it can be n 45 minus n equals to 500, and if you open the bracket, 45n minus n square is equals to 500. Now I don't want here n square term to be negative, so I'll take everything to RHS, because if you'll see, this is nothing but going to be a quadratic equation. Plus 500 is equals to 0. Now taking little bit bigger factors here because I know it's a big number, right? And the sum is also big. So it's divisible by, again, it is 5. So this is the factor, they both will be negative here. So how are we going to do here? N square minus 20n. So it's n square minus 20n minus 25n plus 500 is equals to 0. N is common, n minus 20 minus 25 is common, n minus 20 is equals to 0. N minus 25 times n minus 20 is equals to 0. Then here n can be 20 or 25. If I take it here a20, then it will be a plus n minus 1 and then here minus 1d. So this is 22 minus 19, which is going to be 3, right? So A20 means topmost can have 3 logs. Topmost rows can have 3 logs. Now if I substitute here, if n is 25 here, there was n was, if n is 20, then we are getting this. If n is 25, then A25 will be equals to 22 plus 25 minus 1 times here minus 1 using an formula, 22 minus 24 here minus 2 logs. Is it possible? So we will write down here, therefore n cannot be equals to 24 because number of logs cannot be negative. So therefore n is number of rows. Number of rows are going to be 20, which is n, and number of logs on top row, which is going to be 20th row, is equals to 3 logs, right? So hope you got all these questions. Keep doing practice.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, keep practicing.